Morning everyone, and thanks Usman, thanks everyone to be here today with me, and thanks for CILT to give this brilliant opportunity. So yeah, at the start of the NG Inspired session, I'm very honored to be the first speaker, followed by Rasayat and Saul. Alright, let's kick off. Let's wait for instead of waiting for Kim, we'll just let him know how much he has missed here. Righto. So just a quick introduction of myself. I'm Vivian. A lot of people here may already know me, but for those who we met first time, and I just give you a really quick, brief introduction of myself. I am from a migrant background. I was born in China, and I came to Australia in 2016. And I started my journey there in Tasmania. I moved a lot. So since 2010, I started my life in Macau, spent 3 years there, and then 2013, 2014, I lived in Brazil for 1 year. Enjoyed my life there and learned a lot of things, enjoyed the passion of South America. I really loved it. And then after that, I graduated. Like, oh my God, what should I do? Because my bachelor's background is language. It has nothing to do with commerce, law, finance, IT, nothing. It's a language background in Portuguese. That's what Macau offers as a little Portuguese colony. So I went to East Timor. It's very interesting. Your little neighbor, East Timor, for some people who stay in Australia here. So maybe some of you don't know what East Timor is, but I'm telling you, that's next to Darwin, 30 minutes flight there. And I spent my early 20s, I spent 2 years there. I learned a lot, absolutely. I had a lot of growth there. And then I came to Australia in 2016, did my master's degree in accounting. Again, nothing related to supply chain, nothing like logistics, nothing, absolutely nothing, nada. And I joined supply chain logistics with Toll Group. That was actually, I wouldn't call it an accident, that was unplanned. So I got the role as business analyst. I started my journey in July 2018. So it has been like 4 years and a half starting from then. And then in 2021, I left Toll and became a management consultant. We still do a lot of supply chain stuff, procurement, but more goes into manufacturing, goes into production line, going to the production line, looking at the numbers, and then where we can do an improvement, and increasing OEE, reduce the cost. And back again, I moved back to Melbourne this year, and I joined Coles. So I'm within the solution design team for the automated distribution center with Coles. So that is, just for everyone's idea, that is the biggest automation project in Australia in the last 5 years. And before that, that was Woolies, unfortunately. Right, so what I want to share with you is my personal story. There are 4 takeaways. Number 1, if there is a will, there is a way. It started all from my personal story to Australia. I'm from a language background, as I already told you, Portuguese background. And I started here and I did a completely new degree. I have no idea of what it is. I wasn't good at numbers. Don't get me wrong, everyone thinks, oh, Asians, you're Chinese, come on, stereotypically, Chinese are good at numbers. You guys should be really good, but well, not me. My journey with numbers started from there. And yeah, I did a completely new degree, and when I arrived at Melbourne at the end of 2017, in between July 2018, that's like half a year, I did 400 plus job applications. It's not like these days, it's not like COVID, no sweet of COVID. I know these days, the guys, we stay here. Jobs are everywhere. You just reach out to whoever and you get an interview. And you get jobs easily post-COVID because why? We don't have people. But back in these days, one job on LinkedIn, 400 plus applications. And unfortunately, I was one of them. And yeah, I did 400 plus job applications. And I did all kinds of jobs. I did cash job in restaurants run by a Chinese, of course, and I got kicked out, $12 per hour. that was in 2018. And I did door knocking with UNICEF. I went to all the different suburbs in Melbourne, knocking every single door, every single street, every single suburb. Sometimes people open the door and they're really nice because we ask them to sign up and support the vulnerable children somewhere in the world. And then sometimes they just say yes straight away. But you know what? Sometimes what I got is an F off. And that's not only once, twice, 3 times. We get it at least 3 times a day. And you just have to cope with that. And yeah, and also, and meanwhile, I faced all the difference, like cultural difference. I traveled a lot. I traveled to Europe, I traveled to South America, stayed in different countries, different cities. They're all mixed cultures that has an impact on me. But you know what, Australia is very different. You guys have your own culture, so I feel that difference. And in some certain scenarios, sometimes I didn't know what to say, how to behave, because I don't know, as an Aussie, what you will do, because I don't want to look different. Because I want to be acknowledged in this society. I didn't want to look different. So that was a big struggle. And of course, gender inequality, especially in supply chain logistics. Look here, how many men, how many women? Look at the conference. Well, luckily we start with that. We want to empower people. But then, why? Because we know that's a male-dominated history. And also, I have very limited support from my family, my friends. I came here alone. My parents are still in China. Everyone that I know is in China. I start to build up my network, my friends, starting from Tasmania, starting from zero, starting from no one. I'm just the only resource myself. And also, the biggest struggle that I had is just struggling with my own expectation. Having said it, you know, I'm very self-disciplined. I'm a very self-disciplined person. I set goals to myself. I do all the planning to myself. I'm like, in the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, what I'm gonna do. And you know, as a migrant, coming to a new country is extremely difficult. Things don't turn out as planned. So sometimes it kept me waking up at night, and I doubt, is that the right choice? What am I doing here? But then you know what? You have to be persistent. You have to be resistant. You have to have that will. I want this. I want this. I want to achieve this. I want to start a new life here. I want to get a really professional job in wherever that I fit, and that's how I am here. So these are a few photos to share with you. The first one, that was my time in East Timor. See, I was teaching Portuguese in East Timor. A Chinese teaching Portuguese in East Timor. That's a bit funny, isn't it? And then we often did the orphanage visit. That was during Christmas in 2014, because we know how life can be difficult sometimes. These children, they are left behind by their parents. In those times, Christmas, Easter, we don't want them to be left behind. We don't want them to feel abandoned by anyone during that special times. So we always bring them some kind of fun, some entertainment, some food, milk, everything that they needed. And the photo on the right, that was a really funny one. That I keep telling people, look, there are the shoes that got totally worn out while working for UNICEF. So there's like 2 big holes at the bottom of the boots. That's the amount of work that I did. That's the amount of knocks that I did. So yeah, it is what it is, and we're here. All right, so takeaway number 2. Create opportunities, because you are the one who makes the future, because you define the future. A lot of people ask me, how did I start my journey with CILT? How did I got a role within CILT Australia? How everything happened as a person who's coming from non-English background, who's coming from a completely different education background, who's just like looks so far from everything. And what I often tell people is, the opportunity may not be there, but you are the one who create the opportunities. So my journey with CILT, that went back to July 2018 when I started with TOE. And as a fresh grad, I really wanted to expand my network. I browsed around. There was a fantastic logistic event or exhibition in Melbourne. Can't remember what it was, but CELTA was one of the sponsors. And I did some study. I did my own study. Oh, and I got to know what CELTA is. That's an industry body for professionals. And then, guess what? And I started looking for any information available online. And I searched, oh, Kane's name is there. Karen's name is there. And then some other guys, some other YP guys, back in 2018, you probably know some of their names. The guys' names are there. And then some other contacts there. So I started to make calls. I started to send emails. I started to reach out to a lot of people. And I got some other contacts from other people. That's how everything started. So Steve, thanks to Steve, who's not here today, Steve got me into the first face-to-face catch-up in Melbourne. That was really casual talk. There was just 4 of us. Steve and a guy from uni and me and somebody else. We were just sitting there having a chat. And then that's all it happens. And then Steve invited me to CELTA Victoria committee. That was the first time I sit there, but not officially as a member. And then King highly encouraged me to apply for the CELTA National Awards for Young Professionals and Women in Logistics. And I did it. And it was a surprise. I got nominated and I was finalist of 2 awards. So last time, some of you guys asked me, oh, have you been to Perth? I was like, yeah, this is my 2nd time. When was last time? 2018, the Gala Award dinner with CELTA. So that was last time when I was at Perth. And then that's all, everything started after the Perth Award. And I went back to Victoria and I started my official role sitting in the Victoria Committee chapter. I did a few things throughout 2018, 2019. Organized a few tours, like for those who based in Melbourne, the IPAC tour and the toll shipping tour and some other industry events. I helped to organize this. And then at the end of 2019, King called me. Hey Viv, there's a brilliant opportunity if you're interested in. I said like, what's that? He said, well, there's a role that is available. That's a global chairperson of Next Generation. And you should definitely have a try. And I said, yeah, of course, I will put on my hands. I put my application, and I'm glad Usman did that. And then after that round, everyone that put application, they got a role of regional chairperson. That's how I grabbed this role, and that's how I end up here. And of course, we did a lot of things. That was a long journey. So the message here that I wanted to share with you is that you create your own future. And sometimes the opportunity is there. You didn't see it because it's not listed. You don't see it. But if you're a part of it, you have to be really, really proactive, reaching out to different people, expand your own network. So that was a photo of me, Ursula, King, and Karen. That was in 2018, somewhere in this city. I think that's in Fremantle, back in the day. It's been 4 years. Wow. Right. Takeaway number 3. You define what success is, not others. I know sometimes people really, really struggle. Hey Steve, we just mentioned you. I just said a massive thank you to you when you got me introduced to CELTA. So we know many times we struggle with ourselves because ourselves is the one who put or set expectation on us, not others. And many times we need to overcome that stress against ourselves. So adjust your expectation. And sometimes you need to have that attitude, just do it, without overthink, without thinking of, oh, what if I fail? What if that doesn't look good? Because what looks good to others doesn't apply to what looks good to you. That's my key takeaways throughout a lot of things. I just give you a very, very simple example. I'm starting a YouTube channel myself, starting from this year. And the aim is to get the fresh grads some opportunities to get an insight of what industry is doing, what business analysts do, what are the roles, what are the tasks, and what kind of skill set they need. Or the same management consultant, because I wanted to help them. I want to help those who came to Australia now, like me 6 years ago. I didn't want them to struggle. There are too many things that I would have avoided, but I did it. I don't want everyone to have the same thing happen to them. So I started uploading the video. That's a story. I started uploading the video. I recorded the video very nice. I did the edits and I add subtitles and bam, done. Video is done. You know what? After one day, 1 view. 2 days, 2 views. After a week, 5 views. After a month, first subscribers. After 2 months, maybe 5 subscribers. That is what that happens. And then I started to ask myself, what's that for? What am I doing? It's just doesn't get exposed enough. Nobody's watching. Why I spend so many hours doing that? What's the point, really? But then I caught up with one of our Silta guys. I'm not going to tell you the name because you're going to meet him at Gala Award dinner virtually. And he told me, Vivian, you know what success looks like? For the things that you're doing now, success is that you record the video and upload onto the platform. Don't look at the numbers. If you believe that's what you're gonna do it. Don't look at the numbers. It doesn't matter, it's 1 views, 5 views, 10 views, and then 10 subscribers, 20 subscribers. Just do it. Just do it. And that's what I exactly did. So after a couple of months, I see the channel growing. Of course, I still don't have a lot of views, a lot of subscribers. I wasn't paying anyone to do that, but at least that's a good start, and I really appreciate. So I think this lesson is great for anyone who's doing their startup. I know startup's really hard. In the very beginning, you don't have anything, you don't have any resources. But then guess what? You just do it. You just do it. Like the other one that I say, maybe that's not an appropriate example. Like when you buy lottery, how many people bought lottery here? Try your luck. Yeah, I did that too. I was thinking of becoming a billionaire in one night. But then what success looks like? What success looks like when you buy a lottery? That is not the moment that you win. Success is the action that you buy it. You complete your purchase. That is what success looks like. Don't overthink. Do it. Because if you don't do it, nothing will happen. That's what I feel. If you don't do it, nothing will happen. And takeaway number 4. Lesson number 4. Tell me, anyone from here, do you ride a motorcycle? Do you ride a motorcycle? No? You do? You do? No? And anyone has motorcycle lessons? When you ride a motorcycle, did you take any lessons? Or did you learn it yourself? You learn it yourself? Wow, I admire how brave you are. Because recently, I started learning motorcycle. And my coach told me, look into the future, look into where you want it to go. Look there, in front. Don't look at that tree that you want to avoid. So that is really a big one. Because what we wanted to know is, or what we wanted to go, focus on where you want it to go, not where you want to avoid. If you look at there, for example, if I'm riding a motorcycle here, looking at that door, my body and the motorcycle will definitely take me there without a second thought. But then I would say I want to avoid that projector. I really want to avoid that projector. In the case of motorcycle, oh, there's a tree. That tree looks so big. And if I crash on that, it's gonna be so pain. I'm gonna lose my life. Oh no, I can't. I just need to avoid that tree. Not that tree, please, not that tree. Your mind is full of that tree. And guess what? What will happen? You will crash against that tree, unfortunately. Because your mind is full of that tree. Your mind is full of the failure that you wanted to avoid. So lessons here. I know a lot of people, you have your own thing, your own place to go and your own thing to avoid. but when you are doing your career and your tasks, your personal stuff, think of where the big picture is. Think of where the sky is, where the mountain is, rather than where the tree is, because I don't want you to crash against that tree. Don't crash against that tree. Don't focus on what you want to avoid. Right. So that's the 4 key message that I wanted to deliver. And the last one that I wanted to share with you, I got it from a friend's Instagram. See, that's a place that people say social network, what can you get from there? It's a waste of time. But sometimes I do get inspiration message. He said, if you try and fail, congratulations, because most of the people, they don't even try. So they didn't get a chance to fail. And I really think he's the one who inspires me all the time. Yeah, if you try and fail, congratulations. Congratulations to many of you guys here, because I know I know next generation, we keep trying, we keep doing a lot of things that we haven't done before. There's no example, there's no role model, we don't know, we have a rough message, what good looks like, but we don't exactly know how we're going to get there. But then, keep trying, because not everything that you try will turn out as a success, but at least we keep trying and there's a chance. And then most of the time, it will turn out to be what exactly you want it to be. Thank you all. So that